welcome to our Further Insights podcast. Today we're going to be talking about cannabis. We have a new guide out right now about the ultimate guide to digital marketing for cannabis dispensaries. I'm Eleanor Weir. I am the content director here at Further Insights, and I am joined by my coworkers,
Andrew Schuster,
Kendall Whitfield.
And we're really excited to talk about the guide in a little more of a conversational way. And we're just going to kind of go by each chapter and put our thoughts into what is in the chapter and also why it's important. So the first one is building a brand. And what does this look like for a cannabis dispensary versus just building a brand for general guidelines?
That's an interesting one. It's very new to a lot of people, legal cannabis, particularly in Maryland where we are. We just watched it go from a medical state to an adult use state, which has been an interesting transition. But it's kind of becoming like a liquor store. And how branded are most liquor stores? Not really at all. It's like whoever's closest to you and where you are, you're going to go there, near the party, near your house, whatever. In a sense, dispensaries are like that, where they're going to win because of local foot traffic and proximity to people. So brand's important to a large extent, but it also has a lot less to do with the visual aesthetic as much as it does with like the ethos of the company, who they are, how they're operating, how their staff are representing themselves, where they are in the community, how they're engaging with the local community. So there's a lot that goes into brand beyond the graphics, but because it's becoming more commoditized, brand's becoming more important, and I think it goes well beyond the logo, which there's a million ways to make a cannabis leaf look less like a cannabis leaf, so it can be compliant and things like that. But at the end of the day, I think the dispensary showcasing itself as a local community member, as somebody who really cares about the patients, those kinds of things through video, through social media, through everything you share with the community, with your own customers and new potential customers, that's all the brand. And I think now dispensaries are starting to realize, especially small independent dispensaries, is that they need to invest in their brand, which really is more about sharing what they're doing, way more than just the logo, but it certainly is a manifestation of it.
I definitely keyed in on building what you said, building a community, especially for the small independent communities. It's about understanding the people you are serving. It's about making sure that they understand you're a helping hand, and that makes sure like you said, you can find a lot of cannabis stores anywhere now, but you go back to the cannabis store that makes you feel like home. The guy that remembers your name, people who make sure that they have your deals or know what you want. And I believe that that's kind of where we can come in and help, is we can help you build those loyalty programs and build out those ways to engage your community. If there's a new type, a new strain that you have certain customers that you think would jump on it, we have ways of being able to help support that. And making someone feel at home when they're in your store, when they're in your presence.
I really agree with that geolocation idea of where you are informs what your brand's going to be. And I think it's really reflected in Maryland, because even within the city of Baltimore, if we're just talking about Baltimore, it's a city of neighborhoods. So one neighborhood that's half a mile away from another neighborhood, totally different community needs, and different towns throughout Maryland, very different. You can go to the East Coast and it's going to be totally different than our mountainous region in Maryland, like just so geo-local, and who are the communities you're serving is important in making a brand. For example, you might be in a neighborhood that is really interested as cannabis as wellness, and so you're going to brand on the idea of wellness, like healing, and you might be in a neighborhood that might have people who are using it for the first time. They might be a younger population, and they're more interested in maybe like or older, yeah. So they might be interested in the aspects of cannabis for like for creativity or for an alternative to alcohol. So it's finding what your community and what their needs are. If you are somewhere that has a lot of young parents, you're not going to be able to be a brand your brand is not going to be the same brand as someone who's in a neighborhood with college and grad students.
Well, yeah, I think that plays so well into another chapter of this guide, which is knowing your basically market and doing the research to understand what that need is in the local community, let alone what is the state of the cannabis market in your state, literally like what is going on in the market. Is it medical? Is it recreational? What is it going to look like in 6, 8, 12 months after you commit to your brand identity when it goes recreational? If you're in a medical state, there's implications for this stuff later, especially as these markets get more flooded as they open to adult use and potentially federal legalization long term. So I think it's just doing the research and really understanding where you fit in the local community and in the broader ecosystem. It's going to have tangible impacts on your brand, and like you have to do that first. And we encourage our clients, if they haven't already, we'll come in and help them do this, but we need to do the market research. We need to know what our competitors are doing, not just to be competitive, but to truly provide the best possible experience to our customers. And that's really a lot of what we're seeing in the cannabis space.
And that's not what I feel like we can bring as further insights we can bring to our customers. Is we can, go out there and get that market research for you. We can go out there and make sure you understand your brand and who your community is and who your consumers are. If we see something is being done not to the best of your ability, we might come in and try to explain to you how we can fix that and how we can, tweak you to get a better hold of your community. We're not gonna try to, remake the wheel, but we will, put the alloy rims on it, and we will have it making, looking all glossy and shiny, like it just got out of a car wash. So I think that's what
cars.
No, not yet. But I think that is what Further Insights brings as a brand, is helping you build that sense of community and helping you make sure you're marketing correctly. Because you could do all the marketing in the world, and if it's not effective, then you're just wasting your money, and we don't want you to do that.
Also, I think working with Further Insights or anyone in marketing, and the benefits of doing it house and versus trying to do it all yourself is that running a dispensary is a lot of time. It's a lot of effort, compliances, dealing with employees, dealing with getting your product and opening hours, all of that. Like, investing in marketing experts to help you get there, so you can invest your time into what you're great at doing and running a dispensary, and investing your time making sure your employees are welcoming to clients coming in, making sure that you know what products to bring in, that you're understanding, that you're working with your growers and understanding the market, is something that you get to invest your time into, while you get to offload all the marketing and you don't have to worry about it.
Certainly, and not to say that if you're a dispensary owner or want to be a dispensary owner, you can't do this stuff yourself. You can, but it's very, very tedious and specific, and there's a list of steps you need to follow, and our guide really seeks to lay that out in a really easy and informative, digestible way, so you can understand, if you're a dispensary owner or somebody in the industry, what needs to be done to create a successful dispensary based on our experience working with successful dispensaries. So that's all in this guide, but it really is a very specific focus. Now, marketing in general is, and we get very niche within the platform, social, email, they all require really specific expertise and experience. But when you get to cannabis digital marketing, in this environment we're in, 2023, as many states are heading toward legalization, there's no playbook. I mean, we are learning this stuff in real time in collaboration with our clients, and that's what's so exciting for me personally, is that we can bring some value to you if you're watching this. We want this to be helpful we're not saying, hey, just hire us and we'll figure it out. We're saying, no, look, here's the things that we know you need to do. From our experience in Maryland, working with a dispensary who's gone from medical to recreational, here's what we've learned, here's what we're learning. We're going to keep sharing that. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us. I'm Andrew at Further Insights, all of our first names at Further Insights. Anywhere, anytime, feel free to comment below, and we're happy to answer any questions you have. But at the end of the day, it really is a practice. Marketing is a practice, and it takes a dedicated focus. And our team is excellent. That Eleanor, Kelsey, down the line to all of our freelancers we work with, really platform expertise is what we pride ourselves on. And we try not to get ahead of ourselves, but within the universe of dispensaries, there's only so many things you can do because you can't advertise because compliance, Twitter maybe, but there's issues in cannabis that are different from other industries. And this guide really seeks to, I think, dispel some of the myths about what can and can't be done, but also open a conversation. We might be missing something. There might be things that we don't know could and should be done in other states, and we want to find out. We want to be a part of that conversation.
Yeah, so what this guide is really great for is getting the ball rolling. It's also there to help you learn what you don't know yet. So you probably know, oh yes, I know I need my website to look, I need to have a nice website that loads quickly and stuff. But do you know that you have to set Google Analytics up to make sure that you're getting the information from your website? Things like that. So that's how this guide.
GA4.
GA4, yes.
Note that GA4 is coming.
GA4.
It's here.
It's here. It's actually here. But getting the ball rolling so that you can start seeing data conversions, new clients through marketing online. So that's really what this guide is for, is getting that ball rolling and getting you to start thinking about how you want to market yourself and to learn what you don't know yet. Based on that, what are some things that you think that dispensary owners will find like surprising or new information?
You want to start?
Yeah.
Well, I helped write a lot of it, but it was a really collaborative effort. Everybody had a little bit of a piece in this one. I think there's some things we played out in this guide that might seem trite, might seem like, oh, really, I should do that. Community engagement, for one. Not just online, we'll talk about that in a second, but partnering up with local businesses, local artists, local bands, influencers, if you will, in a compliant way, and making the communities that you serve aware of what you do in a really value-add way, I think is so important. And it's something I think more dispensaries should be doing. A lot of them have already taken this on, but especially the bigger ones who are coming into market, they're not necessarily as connected or understanding of the needs of the broader market. Let's say Baltimore City, for example. So partnering up with organizations, whether, again, be a restaurant, a bar, a music venue, and making yourself a partner to them and their folks can be a great acquisition channel. It's old school, but it works. And when you pair that with really high growth, high volume, distributed social media content like video, educating your customers about the benefits of the products, doing blog posts that connect back to that, those things are going to drive traffic. I mean, the activities we're talking about are going to drive traffic, but there's things you need to do after the traffic is built to drive those people into new customers and then to keep them coming back. And that gets in a little bit more of automation, which I'm just personally very excited about. But I think that's probably the biggest thing. It's actually the not digital marketing thing. It's old school, grassroots, local networking and being a good community partner. I think if you dedicate yourself to that and within reason make yourself a part of that community-based conversation, you're going to see value. I'm sure there's a much better, more technical answer for like what's exciting. And I mean, if I had to give another side of that, I would say just the importance of personalized automation. And this is not like some crazy out there idea. Literally connect to your POS system, whether it be Dutchie, iHeartChain, down the line, and with tools like FlowHub and with tools like even simple like HubSpot, MailChimp, other platforms. Some are compliant, some aren't. You can learn what your customers are buying and send them offers that are specifically relevant to what they're looking for. So many people broad blast specials at so many dispensaries, broad blast specials, and grandma doesn't want a pound of OG Kush. I mean, maybe she does. She's a cool grandma. I think grandma wants bath bombs or ointments, tinctures, edibles, things that, and so there's a whole different marketing approach you're going to take to that segment of the market, older folks, than to younger people who are looking for the highest potency cannabis flowers. It just depends, but personalization with automation
And
connected to your sales data, it's just a winning formula.
Yeah.
And knowing your market. I mean, like you said, community engagement. One of the greatest things I've seen, especially in the small mom and pop dispensaries, is the amount of community engagement. A lot of these people have made their money off of, or their growth off of, understanding and helping and making sure that their community, especially a lot of the older crowd, is getting, what they need, whether it be, like RSO for, patients that need that, or, topical ointments for patients who need that. A lot of these pop, like to call them family-owned and operated businesses, they become a sense of healing in the community, and the community feels that and gives it back, to them. The best thing to do is see them out at, town festivals and community fairs and different things of that nature, community concerts, and seeing the engagement the community has back with these small dispensaries over, let's say, the big industry, and the big corporate dispensaries who are just everywhere, and they don't really have that sense of community. You see it, with restaurants. You see it, a lot of times, with other industries where there's these big corporate chains, but yet these family-owned and operated businesses do great because they have a sense of community, and that's what I believe that Further Insights is trying to do. And if you look at this guide, it works off of that. It works off of building a community and engaging your community and making sure that your community is getting what it needs, and by doing that, expanding your community. And you can do this on your own, but again, like we've explained to you, it's a lot. And that's why you call in somebody like us to, we can either, help you optimize, or we can be your long-term partner and go in there and and make sure you're continuing to grow, month over month and year over year. Like I said, we can come in there, we can help you optimize, or we can stay with you. And it's your choice, and we can help you either way with that.
No, just real quick to piggyback on that point. It's interesting, this kind of dichotomy between the grassroots community engagement and like big data personalization, because when you look at the landscape of small, independently owned and operated cannabis dispensaries who have really been the pioneers in these local markets, putting in some cases their life savings on the line to go serve the community, truly medical patients at that time that absolutely needed this as an alternative to very, very dangerous pharmaceuticals. I mean, this is some people's life's work, and while those people have built deep community roots and they're there for their local community, and they can show that, a lot of them are missing what the big MSOs have, and what we're really trying to make sure small, independent, locally owned and operated cannabis dispensaries have is that marketing data, that technology, making sure we have a full omni-channel view of everything, control of our destiny, know what's working, what's not, and act on it. It is a big divide between those two things, and there's practical steps that you can take to get from community engagement alone to recurring long-term revenue. But I really would venture to guess you're probably going to get a better long-term customer out of somebody who is in your community, who is a cannabis consumer, who sees you at a festival, who met you, who knows your staff, who's down the street. You're going to get more lifetime value, more repeat purchases. But if you don't serve the whole market, everybody looking for dispensary near me within now 2 miles because it's getting more flooded, 2, 5, 10 miles at most, you're leaving money on the table, and those people just don't care. And particularly now in Maryland and other recreational states who have followed in the same I mean, you don't need to be a Maryland resident to purchase cannabis legally. You need to have an ID, be over 21, and that's it. So that's where the market's heading, and it's going to be really interesting to see how this divide between community-driven engagement and being a good member of the community and there for the patients to make sure they get what they need long-term, how that kind of competes against this need to just get market share. But there are two different models. In some cases, maybe some dispensaries can do both, but I think there's going to be room for diversification where some people are just niche focused on seniors. Some people are the everyone Apple store. I mean, it really is going to vary, but it's just really just an interesting balance between those two ideas.
Yeah, and I think it's also has to do with the demographics of your community.
For sure.
You're not going to get the same type of the same way and the same type of engagement in a community that's 30 plus compared to a community that's 25 and under.
Well, I'm just saying more people that are driving through and find a dispensary near me. We have a client near the airport who's a dispensary, so dispensary near BWI. Whoever comes in is going to go there. There's no loyalty there. There might be because maybe they come back and they go there again. But I'm just saying that's a very different tact than being out in the community, meeting people where they are. Doing both is the best way. And I'm not saying they're mutually exclusive at all. I'm just saying as we go into this much bigger market. I mean, the market is most states that are medical. On the way to recreational, you have like maybe 10 licenses in the whole state. If you're like, there's not that many dispensaries. So those folks being able to hold on to what they build and not just have to fight for market share against, the large corporations who, when, cannabis goes legal, are going to be able to bid everybody out on Google Ads, for example. You can win and get ahead there until that moment comes through SEO, through social, through community engagement, through automation, through all the things we're talking about, but you can't do it all at once. And to your point, that's really where we do pride ourselves, is taking that off of our clients' plate, because we're experts at marketing, you're expert at running your dispensary, and we're all learning together how to get through this really uncharted territory. So it's exciting, but there's a lot to process there.
So we've talked, so I kind of want to get a little in depth right now on one of the chapters we have, and it's about creating content for a cannabis dispensary. And really, we've identified 3 modes of content: blog posts, videos, and podcasts and interviews. So those 3 types of content are really, really juicy. And the great thing about those, if you focus on those 3, you're able to pull stuff. If you sit down and do an interview with one of your bud tenders, it takes 30 minutes. You've got you got a good amount of Dozens of 30-second clips that you'll be able to put on Instagram, YouTube Shorts, and start getting people engaged, because right now those are how the social platforms are engaging, or people are engaging on social platforms, is through short-form videos. And so that's one thing. And then another part of blog post is getting ranked on websites. There are large dispensaries that might be multi-state dispensaries. They're really winning on different places, getting a lot of traffic to their site. But you can use blog posts to win traffic for people. For people who are looking for what terpenes are best for my anxiety. 3 terpenes for anxiety. Pull that up. Top of the page is a blog post. So you're able to identify and really draw traffic. And I think that plays also in the community as well. What are people searching in my community? If they're searching, we have a well-educated community about cannabis, they know what terpenes are. They know that they can be used for certain things and used for certain symptoms. And then on the other side, you can be more general about educating your community. So for example, with one of our clients, now that adult use is in Maryland, we have a blog post about what is it your first time like when you visit dispensary in Maryland.
That's amazing. And I think you actually just came up with the topic for our next full report. I would love, and I think a lot of people out there, if you're watching this still, thank you for watching, first of all. Second of all, I think a lot of people would really love to see those trends, state by state, town by town, county by county. I mean, it's fascinating because we've seen it. I mean, what people are organically searching for to find one client, one dispensary is very different than another, and it's very much where they live, who they are, and it can show you intel about what products they might like well before they even buy them.
So what we really talked about, I think, is part of branding is combining two aspects of how you engage with your audience on a large platform through social media, through your website, through any type of content you put out there that engages with multiple people at once. And then also it pairs with that community engagement, that one-on-one that you have with people as a bud tender, at farmers market. That's what I was thinking. I was trying to do it about on farmers market, how you engage people at farmers markets, at community events, at any speaking opportunities, that one-on-one that you get versus the content that you put out and how you're presented to many. Combining those together really makes a brand for yourself.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I feel that, as a, cannabis patient, I, definitely remember, the brands and the people I see out in my community. If I go to a block party, or if I go to a town festival or town fair, and I see, a cannabis or dispensary company there, I'm going to engage and, try to understand what they're about and understand, where they come from, where their history is, meet the people, meet the bud tenders. Like as I said, everybody has a favorite bud tender. Shout out Trey. But that is what gets to me as a user. Me going into a corporate facility where it's just they're just passing you along, as a piece of cargo or as the next thing. It doesn't do it for me. I want to go in and I want to see the same people over and over again. I want to talk to the guy. I want to sit there and be able to talk to the bud tender and have him remember my name, have him ask me about what's happening in my family, because he might be like, oh, you look stressed, you might need this week, more so than you need that. You might need some tincture.
It's like why people go to the same barber like every week, even though they don't need a haircut.
Yeah.
It's like therapy session.
It is.
Yeah.
My bud tender, my barber, who I don't see as much anymore.
The essentials.
Yeah, and the person who does my mani-pedi.
That's part of your community.
Yeah. It really is.
You're living a pampered life over there, my man. Mani-pedi. You gotta get on that tree. That sounds good.
So yeah, I mean, it's a community.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Do you have any final thoughts about brands, cannabis dispensary brands, and how to merge the technical content marketing side and that one-to-one community?
Totally. I think brand is just an amalgamation of everything you do. Everything you share, whether it be in a conversation with a customer, in person, to a blog post, to a video like the one we're doing right now, everything has to be at least consistent and, if nothing else, authentic. I think it's so easy for people to look to use branding as a way to grow, but if you can't back up what you're representing, even subconsciously with the letters, shapes, colors of your logo, if you can evoke an emotion but you can't deliver on the value that you're promoting to people, you're gonna fail in the end. And we've seen it happen time and time again. Some of the most successful brands in the world are the ones that are literally doing what they're saying. They're not trying to be perceived one way and act another. They're focused on the customer's problems. And when you look at cannabis dispensaries, particularly in medical states where the patient needs are really much greater than the needs of the public, it's just something that our clients, thankfully, and other successful dispensaries take very seriously. Like, patient care, quality product, good information, good value, good relationships. So you can't just like broadcast that on social media or a billboard, or you can't just make that happen. It has to be baked in to the DNA of the organization, and it does start with, a simple website, blog posts, social media, but then you have to keep doing it and refining it. It's not a race or a sprint. This is truly a marathon, and really one that never ends. It's a part of your business's evolution is its brand. And what we do and what we're encouraging you to do is to start small but think big, right? Start small, think big. So before you jump to the big campaign, to drive people in and buy a billboard if you can in your state, or buy a full page ad, or try to get onto these alternative ad networks if you have the budget for it, just put a simple website out, put a blog post out about who you are, blog 2-3 times a month about the different products you have, highlight your team, highlight your partners. You start doing that, you're going to start seeing the benefits of it. And yes, we're saying there are steps, there are levels. You want to start from the most foundational level of your website and make sure it's got all the right analytics and infrastructure so you can track and understand what's working, all the way up to video podcasts like the one we're doing now for ourselves. So there's a lot of things you could do, but what we hope you've taken out of this guide and this conversation is there's things you have to do to get to the next level. And we hope this information has been helpful. And again, we're here to help you. So if you have any questions, feel free to comment below, shoot us an email. We want to make sure you have all the information you need to make informed decisions. But if you're looking to grow in a really sustainable way, not just in and out and just be another company that's come and gone, what we're talking about is really the most effective way.
Yeah. So in this guide that we have, we similar to right now, how we talk about a lot of these high level concepts of like, what is a brand? What does a brand need to represent? How we need to have that consistency. And then we also give examples of exactly like this high level idea of you need to have SEO rich blog post. What does that mean? What is the action item? What is an example you can do? So to kind of finish off this podcast, I'm going to share some content action items that you can start doing today. Really what you need to make sure is you have your website up and running and you have your social accounts started. So I really recommend that you have a Facebook, an Instagram, a Twitter, and potentially a YouTube channel, because YouTube Shorts are very popular. So really start with those main three of Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. I would not recommend TikTok because of their guidelines are very, very strict, and it is difficult and takes more time to curate a video for TikTok that won't get taken down. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to make sure you're putting out blog posts. Start with two blog posts a month and really build out to 4 blog posts a month. Release one once a week, and that will really adding on keywords that people are searching, terpenes, about what's the difference between sativa and indica. Those are things that you can write blog posts on, put your knowledge behind, your bud tenders knowledge behind. You can feed information based off questions that you're getting about your dispensary, write a blog post about it. And then for your social media is you're really going to want to invest in video. Some videos that do really great are Meet the Bud Tender, talking about what are 3 strains that are great for falling asleep, a breakdown about one specific strain, a breakdown the difference between vaping and smoking. Those are great videos to start with. Something that's really going to help you succeed on social media, other than the videos, is posts should have a person in it. Just a product is not going, if you have a post that's just an image of the product that you want to share and educate people on, it's not going to perform as well if you have one of your bed tenders holding the product in their hand, because you're going to be able to engage with people they see a human face, they're going to look at it, want to understand what's happening. They're not going to see it as an advertisement, as marketing. They're going to see it as something to engage with. So really make sure that you're putting as much people as you can into your post. A great way to start is with 3 posts a week. if you can do it 2 video and 1 picture or carousel. And the ideal, especially for a cannabis dispensary who is focusing on engaging with your customers, is you want to try to get to 7 posts a week. Start with 3, go to 5, go to 7, and try to keep more videos than still post. So those are some action items for you to get started with, and some insight from further insight about what to do. All right. So thank you so much for joining us. We hope that you look at our guide and that you tune in next time for our next podcast. All right. Thank you all. Bye.